And welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We are live and amplified here on Wednesday night, and we've got 1 week of high school football now in the rearview mirror. It was a fun first week 0 where almost everybody played. Not everybody, but a lot of our local teams. And now we go into week 1, and we'll have even more action. Very excited about it. So we're going to have a lot of high school football coming up on this show. In just a moment, we're going to hear from Ron Gueringer, the head coach of the Citrus Hill Hawks. Big win for them in Redlands in week 0. They got A.B. Miller coming up. And Coach G had a health scare this offseason, so he's very thankful to be back on the sidelines at Citrus Hill. We'll talk more about that. We're also going to check in with RCC's new head football coach, Kevin Kraft. Yeah, Tom Kraft's son. He'll make his head coaching debut for the Tigers on Saturday against Long Beach City. We've got all the good stuff, the Bass Top 25 after week 0, and there is some a little bit of shaking up in the top 25. Ken's must-see game. We'll talk more high school football matchups, some of the top matchups coming up in week number 1. And we also have a very special interview with San Bernardino County's all-time leading rusher, Branden Rankins, from Aquinas High School. So we're going to catch up with Branden as well. A very special interview you don't want to miss. So that's going to be in our final segment. All right, but as we mentioned, we're going to lead things off here with Coach Gueringer at Citrus Hill. They played a lot of close games last year, and this year he's hoping that they're going to get over that hump and make that playoff push and get back to the postseason. And as I just kind of alluded to, Coach Gueringer had some health issues in the offseason, and he was in the hospital for quite a bit of time. But now he's back. He's feeling great. He's very thankful just to be coaching football again, soaking in every moment. And I'm sure beating Redlands in week 0 probably made him feel a little bit better than that. So now they try to keep things going against A.B. Miller coming up here in week 1 on Thursday night. So without further ado, the head coach of Citrus Hill, Ron Gueringer, here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show, fresh off a big win in week 0. It is the head coach of your Citrus Hill Hawks, Ron Gueringer, Coach G, as we'd like to call him here on the program. And Coach, congrats on a big win on the road against the Terriers. And what did you like about your team in that game? What did you guys do well that maybe, I don't know if it was a pleasant surprise, but where'd you guys look strong?
Well, first off, I'll say our perseverance and our ability to overcome adversity. The first 6 plays didn't look really good from an offensive or defensive standpoint. 2 minutes in the game, they were up 7-0. I think they thought it was going to be a cakewalk because they probably would have been favored by 21 or 28 points, but our kids persevered. They handled adversity. And then they made play after play after play. They answered the call when it was necessary. And there were so many standouts that it kind of reminded me of one of my old San G teams.
Well, Coach, I know you got the win, but you came out a little shorthanded, right? Some significant, injury to one of your top players.
Well, we lost our MVP from last year, and the guy who's definitely in our top 2 players, his name is Samuel Creech. He broke his arm with about 3 minutes to go. Just for example, though, he had 3 pass receptions for 21 yards and the touchdown. He had 4 or 5 rushes for another 30 yards. He had a pick on defense, and he had 10 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. So that's kind of hard to replace. And at a place like Citrus Hill, we just don't have a lot of depth. But what we want people to understand is that this is a program that's on the up. We're doing positive things. We got a lot of young talent, and it's a place that if you're looking to go, it's a viable option because we can get you to the next level.
All right, Coach. So you had a big win against Redlands in week 0. Now you get A.B. Miller coming up in week number 1, trying to stack another win for you guys early on in this season. What did you guys do well against Redlands that you want to see carry over into this Miller game?
Well, we were very diverse in the sense that we were balanced. We rushed for 139 yards. We threw for 324, which is definitely a team record. John Guitron was 18 of 25, 72 beat that. Kalen Stevens caught 6 balls for 122 yards. uh, Demetrius ran for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that's the Norman. So he rushed for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. We had some people, Luis Castellanos stepped up defensively. So we're going to show that balance. Uh, Here's what I can tell you. A.B. Miller plays hard. They coach very well. They're physical. They're tough. They run all over the place. So you can see that there could be an issue. And we're going to have to see now, can we overcome losing a player of Samuel's level, who I think is a D1 prospect, and what we could do from there.
So, Coach, on the onset of the season, when you began the season, what were some of the goals you had for this team? Is playoff spot, league championship? Like, what were you hoping to accomplish this year?
We won 3 games last year, but we lost 4 games by 1 possession. And we lost to the league champion by a point. So we thought we were right there, and we thought if we can improve and get better, we could do some things. So the goal was to make the playoffs, beating Redlands, who's a quality team. Coach Stengel does a great job. That helps a great deal. But now losing Samuel at backer and running back, we're going to have to see if we can overcome adversity again. But at the same time, I have a lot of faith in this team. We got a number of kids who have played well. Also have to give our kicker, Benji Castellanos, credit. And he was in his first varsity game. He's a guy who came off the soccer field and did a tremendous job. And we just been blessed with guys who have stepped up so far, and we need to step up again and try to make this work.
Coach, how important is it for this team to get some wins early on in this season, like Redlands and possibly against A.B. Miller this week, just to build some confidence or some momentum? Like you said, you played a lot of close games last year. Maybe this year, you can win those close games and make that playoff push.
Well, it's very important for us once the preseason. That was the case last year. We lost the kid game 1 again and then we lost a couple games that we could have won, or had our starting order. Depth is not a lot. So we lose a kid, it hurts us dramatically more than most. But this year, the goal was to try to make playoffs. Felt like if the division we would be in, we could make a run. I have a defensive coordinator by the name of Alonzo Elliott who's done a great job. And our kids are brought in. We had a number of kids coming back. We were disappointed that a couple kids decided not to. I had a period of time, which me and you talked about already, that I was hospitalized with blood clots. So I was in the hospital for 2 months and hampered the football program and our advance. We thought we were really heading in the right direction, and then we took a tumble. But these kids have responded well. They're brought in. They're working hard, and they understand what it takes to be successful.
Coach, how thankful are you just to be on the sidelines this season? Are you kind of, just really soaking in this season, thinking like, oh my gosh, there was a chance I might not be out there? Now, do you appreciate it maybe a little bit more this year?
I appreciate it greatly. Here's what I can tell you. Football's been my passion. It's kind of been my life. Everything has revolved around football. My kids grew up around football. My son coaches football. Football means the world to me. And it was something that my dad taught me at 4 years old. I had a uniform and helmet, shoulder pads, and was going about it. And I've been coaching for over 40-some years now. So I'm excited about this. There's nothing better than being on a field on a Friday night. And I have to thank Sarah Allen, David Cox, and then our former AD who just passed away. And I'd like to give him a lot of love, who's been this way. So, yes, it's exciting. I love it. It's like a drug to me, and I get enough.
So, Coach, obviously you're out there to win the game, right? Herm Edwards famously said, you play to win the game. But, going through a health scare like that, do you just feel like, man, I just like being at practice. I just like being around the guys and the other coaches. Like, I just like being around all the, just the game.
It is, but I'm just like Herm, though. I'm competitive. I'm not looking to be out there just to be out there. We look at and it was exciting to win one that, like I said, we probably were a 3-touchdown underdog against, and it was exciting the way we won it because both sides of the ball contributed, and I should say all 3 phases of the game contributed, and we could have easily folded the tent early when we went down 7-0 in the first series, but our kids persevered and they played their hearts out, and they deserved the victory.
Coach, what was that final score against Redlands? Was it 35-27?
35-27. Yes, sir.
So, let's just say same scenario last year. Was this a game that you feel like, what? I don't know if we would have pulled it out at the end, because you said you played so many close games. Do you feel like this year's team maybe kind of turned the corner a little bit and finds ways to win those one-possession games?
Well, here's what the deal was. They beat us 35-7 last year. I mean, they whooping on us, and the only touchdown we scored was on a kickoff return. So, coming back, we kind of felt like there was a 5-minute phase in that game that we just really fell apart. The kids went back and reverted back to what they do and hadn't figured out that, we're a different group now. A lot of people used to think this team was soft. And one thing you could say about Ron Gueringer football team is it's never soft. So we have implemented, a lot of and they showed it mentally and physically this Friday, where last year, like you said, we would have fell apart. It looked like we were in for another beatdown, but that wasn't the case.
All right, Coach, finally, without giving away all your secrets, what do you think are the keys to victory against A.B. Miller this week? What do the Hawks have to do well to give themselves a chance to win this game?
Well, A.B. Miller does a great job of running football, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to slam it down our throats. They're going to be physical. They're going to come after us and do some things. Last year, we moved the ball a ton, but we didn't finish drives. So, like I said, last year we only scored 7 points versus Redlands, and it was on a kickoff return. This year, we probably should have scored more than 35. So it was just the opposite. We had some opportunities that we missed. And so we're starting to finish a drive. And again, one of the characteristics of my offense is that we're balanced and that a lot of guys contribute. So we had 7 guys have pass receptions, and we had 4 guys run the football. So we're going to also have to be balanced offensively and take the ball and own possession time to beat A.B. Miller.
Well, Coach, it's always good catching up with you. I'm happy you're healthy and doing well and 1-0 on the season. So we appreciate the time, Coach G, and best of luck the rest of the season.
I got to get used to this again. We used to do this all the time. So I miss it. I always appreciate you. You've always been not only a good friend, but supported me, and we're looking forward to a good year at Citrus Hill. And we just want people to understand we're playing football here again. Since it's almost left, the program has went down, and they built a quality program, and we're trying to take it back to somewhere along that level.
Well, Coach, again, always appreciate the time. You're always welcome here. And here's the deal: if you're winning football games, you're gonna find yourself on the show. We love having winners on here. So just keep winning games, and you'll be back. I promise.
Okay, well, we're gonna try to do our best at that. Okay.
You got it. That is Citrus Hill head coach Ron Gueringer here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. All right, good stuff, Coach G. And this segment has been brought to you by Tailgate Like a Boss. Listen, you can follow them on Instagram right now. That's Tailgate Like a Boss, because it is football season. It's tailgating season, and you can book this 34-foot custom tailgating toy hauler, ideal for tailgating and watch parties and block parties, any kind of party. They can hook you up. You can slay the day, as they would say out there, with Tailgate Like a Boss. Again, they are on Instagram, so go find them right now. Get more information, and you too can have a great time with all your friends and family. And again, it is football season, so it's a perfect time. That's Tailgate Like a Boss on Instagram for more information. Okay, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to talk RCC football as we hear from Tigers head coach Kevin Kraft, and more high school football as well. Some of the big matchups coming up in week number 1. We'll be back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. It's football season, which means it's tailgating time. Follow Tailgate Like a Boss on Instagram, and you can book this one-of-a-kind custom tailgating toy hauler for your next game or event. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified here on Wednesday night, talking more local football as RCC, the Riverside City College Tigers, will kick off the season Saturday night as they take on Long Beach City at 6 p.m. Live on Riverside TV. So check out the game if you can't make it out to Wheelock Stadium. It'll also mark the head coaching debut for RCC's Kevin Kraft, the son of Tom Kraft. Now, Tom Kraft is still with the program, associate head coach, coaching up the quarterbacks, but Kevin Kraft is the head coach of RCC. He likes what he sees from his team the last couple of weeks as they have gone through training camp, preparing for this first game of the year. So we had a chance to talk to Coach Kraft about the team, specifically about the quarterback battle right now. He says they've got 4 good quarterbacks, which is a great problem to have. 4 quarterbacks battling for playing time. He talks about the team, and he talks about what it means to be an RCC Tiger. It carries a lot of weight here in our local community, in the city of Riverside, in the Inland Empire. Here is Tigers head coach Kevin Kraft on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
I think we've got 4 really good quarterbacks. Well, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. I think those guys have all worked hard. All of them have improved. We're seeing a lot of good signs from all of them. We're not ready to make an announcement on the starter, but I'm also open to playing multiple quarterbacks in the first game. I think that's we have multiple guys who are ready to go. So it's a good problem to have. I think they're a good group of guys. I haven't had to have very many of those talks with those guys because they're all supporting of each other. The guys who were here last year, and we had Brady, and Brady was a good mentor to the other guys because Brady knew what it was like. He sat out 2 years behind 2 really good quarterbacks and had a chance to learn. So he was able to put those guys under his wing, and I think that those guys have kind of taken that lesson, taken that experience, and they're all working together. They're all rooting for each other. There's not a lot of animosity between them. They're just looking to improve themselves. And whoever's in there, when it's your time to go, we all want that guy to do his best. So I've been really proud of the way that they've responded to that situation. And my goal is to have all of those guys be ready. I'm rooting for all 4 of them that are competing. And whoever's the most ready to go is going to get the reps right away. We've had a lot of development, a lot of focus on our decorum. And we're trying to bring a lot of guys on and up to speed in a short amount of time. So I think everybody's done a good job of committing. We've really focused hard on getting everybody to be committed to the way we do things in our program. And that's been the main focus. And I think we've come a long way. We still have a ways to go, but we're encouraged with what we're seeing. I think we got to focus on ourselves. It's really about early in the season, how well can you execute what we're asking our guys to do, more so than the matchups, because you don't know who they have, and we don't get to exchange film before the season. So it's more about focusing on ourselves and executing our own game plans and not hurting ourselves. We talk about it a lot that our players not only represent themselves and our team and the school and this community. And we here at Riverside City College, we have a brand. And there's a reason why we've been able to be so successful in our wins and our matriculation rate, transferring students. And we haven't had a lot of problems because that's a big priority to us, is how we represent ourselves, how we represent the school. And our decorum is the foundation of our whole program.
Inland Sports.
All right, RCC and Long Beach City, Saturday at 6 p.m., season opener for the Tigers. And again, that's live on Riverside TV. All right, let's get back to some high school football. Now, we have a couple teams that are already in their bye week. They played in week 0, one game, in the books, and now they're heading into the bye week. One of them, Indian Springs, and the Coyotes suffering a tough loss in week 0 in the final seconds against Montclair. The Coyotes were that close from picking up a big win in week 0. But Marcus Williams, the head coach at Indian Springs, says it's a good time to regroup this week, get ready for the remainder of the season. We'll have more on Indian Springs football on Sports Weekly on IEMG, but here's what Coach had to say about his team in that game against Montclair.
Inland Sports.
I'll say defense for the most part. The first half and majority of the third quarter, run defense. There's some kids that stepped up. I was really excited about, a lot of 3 and outs. Defense played very well. I felt like our quarterback, Nico Padilla, actually stepped in. First time playing quarterback. He put up some good numbers. He led the team. So that was a big positive, just moving forward in the season. Like, I can really believe in this kid and trust him. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, just defense. I'm really excited about that. They showed up. I'm happy. Offense, we still got some work to do. It's going to get done.
Inland Sports.
All right, thanks, Coach. And again, more on Indian Springs this week on IEMG. All right, time now for our Bass Athletics Play of the Week. And there were some really good ones this week, but we caught one on camera. It was a big moment in the game, and it was also pretty incredible. Check it out from Ramona running back Lorenzo Sims.
Inland Sports.
All right, the play of the week brought to you by Bass Athletics. From their own 1-yard line, Lorenzo Sims breaks off this incredible run, and check out on the far sideline. Breaks that tackle, breaks another tackle, breaks another one there, and he sprints down the sideline, and they are not going to get him. What an incredible run. There was 3 or 4 different times when the Huskies, it looked like they were going to pin him up against that sideline and bring him down. As we take a closer look and slow it down a little bit. Look, had him by the ankles. There's another one off the shoulder pads, and one more as they try to get him around the waist, and he is gone. An incredible run in itself. It was also 99 yards, and it was also the nail in the coffin. It sealed the deal for Ramona as they won 26-0 on the road at JW North in week 0. So a big win for them. And that's Lorenzo Sims, the Bass Athletics Play of the Week. What a run by Lorenzo Sims. And there he is celebrating a little celly on the sideline. Okay, as we did the Bass Athletics Play of the Week, take a look at the Bass Top 25 poll after week 0. Now, we had the preseason poll, and already after 1 week of high school football, we've already got some changes going on in the top 25, and we knew it would happen as we get these head-to-head matchups of top 25 teams. They will figure it out. They will decide on the field who's the better team, so we're just going to go with that. So here's our top 25 after week 0. Here's how it looks. Centennial still on top, not a big shock. Marietta Valley, big win against Rancho Cucamonga, so the Nighthawks leap up to number 2. Still have Beaumont at number 3 after a thrashing of San Jacinto. Chaparral checks in at number 4. Listen, the Pumas are really good, but they ran into a really tough San Juan Hills team. I mean, San Juan Hills is one of the better teams in the southern section, but we still keep them at number 4. Then there's Rancho Cucamonga. Then there's Vista Marietta, who beat Great Oak in the first round, or in week 0, I should say. Norco making the biggest leap out of week 0. That was a huge win at home against Cajon, 35-27. They raced out to a big lead and held off the Cowboys, who check in at number 8, now at 0-1. Aquinas gave Damien all they could handle, but the Falcons came up a little bit short. They're 0-1 at number 9. And the Jacks, San Jacinto, I still think they're a really good football team. But man, Beaumont looked great in that game. Tigers round out the top 10 at 0-1. On the other side, look out. Summit and Murrieta Mesa are climbing and climbing fast. It was Summit with a big win against Ayala. Maximus McCarthy had himself a ball game for the Skyhawks. Murrieta Mesa beating Newport Harbor. Big win for the Rams. And they got another huge game coming up against Vista Marietta. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Orange Vista, they lost their first game of the year on the road at Apple Valley. We talked about Ramona's win against JW North. King also a winner. Etowanda a winner. Rancho Verde falling in week 0. Citrus Valley will play Etowanda in their season opener here in week 1. So that's going to be an interesting game. Followed by Vista Del Lago, Norte Vista, Hillcrest. Thumping Corona at SoFi Stadium in such decisive fashion, we had to put them in the top 25. Then Temecula Valley, who's coming off a win against Liberty. Santiago, if you win on the road at Yucaipa, man, you are doing something right. Shout out to Scott Morrison and the Sharks. Big win on the road. They're at number 23. Yucaipa slides to 24. And Elsinore in at 25. They had a big win in week 0. They are 1-0. And they got a big game coming up against Temecula Valley this week. So a lot will be on the line as we go into week 1. Some important matchups once again. And that's our Bass Athletics Top 25 after week 0, going into week number 1. All right, we've got a lot of great matchups, but our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game is Hillcrest taking on Santiago. The Sharks and Trojans, both big winners in week number 0. So they're both 1-0 going into a Thursday night special out there in the city of Corona. And we'll see who's going to move to 2-0 on the year. Both of them, had impressive wins in week 0 for different reasons. First, for Hillcrest, it was going to SoFi Stadium and beating the Corona Panthers 61-15. That is Matt Ramos. He had not one, but 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown. So Matt Ramos doing it twice on kickoff returns. Head coach Travis Carter said it was a special night for special teams because not only on the kickoffs, but here's Corona punting. Nico Bernal returned 2 punts for touchdowns. And man, how cool is that? You're doing it at SoFi Stadium. Hosted a Super Bowl, hosted a national championship, the home of the Rams and the Chargers, and you're taking kicks back to the house. So big win for them at SoFi. And then Santiago winning on the road at Yucaipa. It is a tough place to play. It's a tough place to win at Yucaipa. And the Sharks did it in week 0. Clayton Plew and his boy Ryan Wilson hooking up a couple times on some touchdowns there. So you win on the road like that, got to go in the top 25. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup, I think, in our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. Hillcrest taking on Santiago. Should be awesome. All right, let's take a look at some of the other big matchups coming up in week number 1. Centennial will take on Santa Margarita, 2 of the top teams, period, in the southern section, in the state, and another Trinity League school for the Huskies who beat Servite in week 0. We mentioned Citrus Valley kicking off their season against Paul Unga and Etowanda, who won his debut in week 0. Vista Murrieta and Murrieta Mesa, both teams winning in week 0. And now they're going to go head-to-head in an all-city battle down there in Murrieta. Arlington will take on Ramona. We'll see if the defense can keep things going against the Lions. They pitched a shutout, 26-0 against North in week 0. King, big win against Roosevelt in week 0. San Jacinto looking to pick up the pieces. The Tigers are going to be fired up. I know Coach Galliano's going to have them ready for Coach McMains and King. That's probably one of the better matchups we're going to have in week number 1. Temecula Valley and Elsinore, that is a rivalry game for the Perpetual Trophy. Golden Bears and the Tigers, both of them 1-0 to start the season. And Poly versus JW North, that game will be live on Riverside TV. That is a rivalry game. We'll see who's going to pick up their first win of the year, the Huskies or the Bears. And those are some of the top games coming up in week number 1 here in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. All right, we'll round out this segment with, how about a little girls flag football? Redlands playing on the road at Indian Springs, and we got a great touchdown on camera. QB Kayleigh Martinez to Michaela Stark. Nice touchdown there for the Terriers as RHS picked up a big road win at Indian Springs. And we'll go from there, from Indian Springs, we'll across the freeway to Citrus Valley High School, where the Blackhawks were taking on Ramona, and it was a low-scoring game. How low? Well, there was absolutely no touchdowns in this game. The Ramona defense did a great job. Diana Nahara had a couple interceptions in this game, and really it came down to a safety towards the end of the game for the Rams. I believe it was Sophia Rico. I think it was number 2, Sophia Rico. But nonetheless, it was a safety by Ramona, and that would be it. 2-0 the final score for the Rams. We'll have more on that on the Riverside Sports Update on Riverside TV. So look for that. All right, we're going to take another quick break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we have a very special interview with Branden Rankins from Aquinas High School. The former Falcon is San Bernardino County's all-time leading rusher. So we got a special interview you don't want to miss with Branden Rankins next here on the Inland Sports Show.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. It's football season, which means it's tailgating time. Follow Tailgate Like a Boss on Instagram, and you can book this one-of-a-kind custom tailgating toy hauler for your next game or event.
Inland Sports.
Dodgers had a massive series against the Padres over the weekend, 3-game series. The Dodgers salvaged the final game on Sunday thanks to 2 home runs from Freddie Freeman, the 45th home run of the year for Shohei Ohtani. They beat the Padres 8-2. So, Patrick, when all the dust settled, as we go into this Monday morning, the Dodgers, 74 wins, 57 losses. The Padres, 74 wins and 57 losses in a dead tie with 31 games left in the regular season, man. You can't make this stuff up. What a great race for the NL West title.
Yeah, we figured it was going to be close, and it's an absolute duel, a dead heat. So here we go. I think it's going to be a nail-biter, man.
Yeah, dude. Again, I've said this. I sound like a broken record. I'll say it again. I just got a feeling they're going to see each other in the playoffs, which would be huge. I mean, like it would be, so much drama, in the rivalry. Like it would be awesome. But here we go, 31 games left, and whoever gets hot going into the playoffs will probably be the team that has a better chance of going all the way to reach the World Series. So these next 31 games, I feel like are critical, not just because who's going to win the NL West title, but who's the team that's playing the best baseball going into the playoffs. These are the last 31 games of the season, not the first 31. These are the last 31 to kind of get that momentum, that confidence going into the postseason.
Very critical. And remember, I mean, I said earlier, I believe this is the year, and my Dodger fan friends hate me for this. I believe this is the year that the Padres finally get the Dodgers.
Now, we mentioned Shohei Ohtani hitting number 45, which sounds like a lot of home runs, and it is. But he does not lead Major League Baseball. It's your boy, Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, hit number 48 and number 49 on Sunday. So now he holds the single season record by a catcher for home runs in a season. He's got 49 home runs. The previous record was 48. And the Mariners have 30 games left on the season. So that's 49 and counting. He's going to add to that total now.
Inland Sports.
All right, welcome back. Just talking sports with my guy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. Look for that on the old radio dial and online. That's KCAL 96.7 FM. All right, Friday night, we are back with the Riverside TV Friday Night Pep Rally. Scores, highlights, interviews, me and Jeff Gorham and some friends as well. We're going to have a big show this Friday night after week 1, so look for that. If you're looking for high school football, they're going to have North versus Poly live on Riverside TV, and then at 11 p.m. all the way until about midnight on Riverside TV, the Friday Night Pep Rally. Scores, highlights, analysis, and fun. So stay up late with us and look for that, the Friday Night Pep Rally. All right, well, he is one of the all-time greats here in the Inland Empire. He is San Bernardino County's all-time leading rusher. He's a 4-year starter. He's a champion. We're talking about Aquinas running back Branden Rankins. So we wanted to catch up with Branden, find out what he's been up to, and also a very special announcement during the interview that you don't want to miss. Here is our exclusive interview with Branden Rankins.
Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show, one of the all-time greats here for high school football in the Inland Empire. We just started the 2025 season, but we thought it'd be a good time to catch up with some of our favorite guys to come through the Inland Sports Show and Sports Weekly on IEMG for that matter. Branden Rankins from Aquinas High School, the all-time rushing leader in San Bernardino County. And Branden, listen, I'm sure you made a ton of great memories, during your 4-year career as an Aquinas Falcon. But what are some of your favorites? Could you narrow it down maybe to 1 or 2 or 3, some of the things that you're going to remember during your high school career?
Yeah, well, I want to start off by saying thank you, Pep, for having me on the show. For a couple of the memories that I remember the most is probably when we won our championship in 2017, going into the 2018 year. And when we played against Luzinger my junior year to go to the championship. And just those 2 games, like specifically, because I feel like my 2016 season going into 2017 was one big year because we went all the way. We lost by 1 point my junior year, and then we went back to win the whole thing, and we went undefeated all the way up to it. And just the memories are amplified by what the emotions that I felt in the moment, by the guys that I got to play with, and also just being around such amazing guys that now they're living like good lives, and we're all grown up and we're all still talking. So it makes me happy to see that those moments that we made on the field, they translated to our adult life.
The championships, the records that you set, all those sorts of things. When I catch up with, former football players, a lot of them say, all that stuff was great, but it's really just, hanging out in the locker room with the guys, or just, riding on the bus to a road game. Like, those are some of the favorite memories. I mean, again, all-time leading rusher, championships, all that stuff. But is some of the best moments really just behind the scenes?
Yes, I would say the best moments are behind the scenes, because the best moments that we had from just being able to talk to guys like Joshka, or talking to guys like Oscar and Diego, who were like a year younger than me, 2 years younger than me. And it's just seeing their growth and seeing how we still talk today, and the different guys I have a relationship with. So definitely the memories that we had, because football is going to come and go no matter how far you make it in your career. But these relationships, if you really put time and effort in them, they're going to nurture and grow over time. So being able to make sure that certain relationships that I obtained during my time playing football, it really means the most to me.
All right, Branden, give us a life update, man. What are you up to these days? I heard you're married, you're working on a career. Like, what's going on?
So now I just got married February 8th to the love of my life. Big shout out to Jessica Rankins. It feels good saying that. And it's just, now I'm going through nursing school. So I'm going through that journey of, I got done playing football, I want to say back in 2022. I played my last season, and I said, well, let me go on and, I want to do something with my life. I knew it was either I wanted to do something in the medical field, and I was like, well, let's full send it. Let's just go in, do what I want to do. And on top of that, I remember made a promise to my dad before he passed. He passed back in 22, so I made a promise to him that I was going to join the military. So I'm now part of the Army National Guard. And hopefully I'm going to translate my nursing on to the military.
Dude, that is awesome, man. I bet you he'd be so proud. That's so cool.
Yes.
That's awesome, Branden. So, of course, I got to ask, is football in your future at all in terms of coaching? Could you see yourself maybe on an Aquinas sideline at some point doing something to help the program?
I would love to. I would actually love to after I get my degree, come back and coach at my alma mater, or just giving back to the community however I can. I gained all this knowledge of playing football and connections, and I would just want to give it to somebody else because my time is up, but it's still my time to give back.
That's awesome. That's a great answer right there, Branden. Now, hold on a second because I think we have a guest here that wants to join us here on the program. It's going to be Dr. Chris Barrows, who I think you're very familiar with. So the good doctor, Dr. Barrows, if you're there, if you could turn your camera on real quick. We got Branden Rankins joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. And Dr. Barrows, I think there was something you wanted to tell Branden. Isn't that correct?
I did. What's up, Branden? How are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Good, man. I just saw Branden on Friday night looking like he's still ready to play. So that's good. Well, I wanted to chime in, and it's always good to see Branden. You know, one of my favorite things about being at a place like Aquinas is, you know, getting to know these kids when they're young people. I think I met Branden when he was about 14. And now here he is, you know, married and, you know, a full-grown man. And that's always my favorite part about this. But, you know, it's my honor, Branden, to be able to come on here and let you know that you've been selected to join the Aquinas High School Hall of Fame for this year.
Oh, man. I appreciate that. It's, you know, it just makes all the hard work and effort I put in, even from the first day that I got to meet Coach Bruzik coming onto the campus and him telling me straight up that I can make a difference and that if I come here, you're not going to be treated as a number. You're going to be treated as somebody, but you're going to have to earn it at the same time. So it makes me happy and I'm very honored to be able to accomplish this and get put into the Hall of Fame. So I want to say thank you to not only you, but to the Aquinas family, and especially the coaches that coached me up and the players who gave me the opportunity to be in the spotlight. Even though I always wanted to tell people that I was in the spotlight, but to me, it seemed like everybody else was able to shine bright enough that they were able to put their eyes on me.
Yeah, it's great. You know, Branden said, you know, that Coach Bruzik told him that he can make a difference. And I think the best part is, you know, obviously he's made a huge difference, but it's not just about him as a football player. It's about him as a person. And I know Coach constantly references Branden and his character and the impact he's had on the campus as a person, as an individual, and what he means to all the future Falcons. My son is on the team. He's a senior this year, and he knows all about Branden, even though they were never in school together. And it's not just about, you know, records and yards and, you know, CIF championships and this and that. It's about, you know, the person he is, the hard work he put in, the dedication of the program, and how he made not just a football program better, but the school better as a whole.
So, Dr. Barrows, let me ask you this, because you've had some great athletes and great coaches come through Aquinas, obviously. But Branden Rankins sure seems like a slam dunk, right? When you talk about the total person, right? The great athlete that he was, the records, the championships, but beyond the football field, the kind of person he was, that exemplifies what an Aquinas Hall of Famer should be, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not just about what they've achieved, athletically. It's about the people they are. And that's what we really value at the school is, you can go be great athletes anywhere, right? But it's how you become the adults that you become. We talk about all the time, when you come into Aquinas, the next 4 years are going to affect the next 40 of your life. And how Branden grew and the person he became over those 4 years, and now getting to see him, be the man that he is, be the husband that he is, like that's the best part. That's what makes it worth it. And it's, and the Hall of Fame night, Pep, I hope you can make it out and be a part of that with us and join us that night, because it is such a special night when you have these people come back and talk about, how the school affected them, and then in turn, how they've gone and affected the school. It's a really special opportunity.
Well, Dr. Barrows, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I was going to ask when and where and how can people get tickets?
Yes. So it's October 4th. It's a Saturday. It's always the Saturday after our homecoming game. Branden will be able to come to that game. We bring him out at halftime. He does his best pageant wave. Everybody gets to see him out there. And then the following night, we have a banquet at the school. We'll be posting some stuff. I just let everybody else know this week. So now that we've let everybody else know who's going in, now we'll start getting out there and publicizing it. It's going to be the 14-15 girls basketball team that unfortunately they were league champs, but they lost in the semifinals in double overtime to a really good Orangewood team. Coach Sixto Gonzalez, our soccer coach, who unfortunately just recently passed, but he led our 2018 soccer team to a CIF championship. And then Zoe Casas, who played softball, led our 2013 team to a championship, and then went on to win a national championship at Florida State. So that's going to be our Hall of Fame class for this year, joining Branden. So it's going to be a really cool night with a lot of special people to honor.
All right, let's wrap it up like this, Branden. Now that you've had a couple minutes to let it sink in, I mean, I did want to talk to you about your awesome career and what you've been up to, but this is part of the deal too. It was make this big announcement. So, what do you think being an Aquinas Hall of Famer?
I think that, like I said before, it's an honor, but I also want to put out there like the people that I wouldn't say was behind me, but the people that was in front of me, from just the linemen or from being in the backfield with Sayu, or just having guys being able to play very good defense for me like Gary or Joshka. Is just, and the coaches keeping me humble, the coaches keeping me grounded, the coaches making sure that my faith in the Lord was first. So just being able to have the opportunity, and I tell people this is an opportunity to go to Aquinas and build upon your faith and be able to be who you are unapologetically, like with people that's gonna love you back. So just having this opportunity to be there and showcase what some of these San Bernardino athletes have like in store for everybody, I'm appreciative that the Lord has put me in the position to keep shaking hands and be around people that has given me good faith, goodwill, and who's strengthened my relationship with him. So all glory to God.
Man, I couldn't have said it any better. That was the perfect answer, Branden. Congratulations on joining the Aquinas High School Hall of Fame. Dr. Chris Barrows, thank you for jumping on the show and making the announcement for Branden. Man, what a special moment.
Yeah, it's great. This is the best part.
Dr. Chris Barrows, Branden Rankins here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
Awesome, man. What a special moment for Branden Rankins, and well-deserving. Congratulations to him. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. We appreciate you tuning in each and every Wednesday night. Again, please give us a follow on social media. We're posting short videos and pictures there. So if you can't wait for every single Wednesday, if a week seems like too long, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, aka X. Still do a little bit of Facebook as well. That's Inland Sports or Inland Sports Show. All right, that's going to do it tonight. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.